The Scholastic Ball Report is sponsored by UK Sports Medicine and by Crown Trophy, Double Dogs, Mingy Beef Jerky, Prep Spin, P-Rats, Rafferty's, Roberts Insurance, Sutherland Chevrolet, and by Whitaker Bank.
Hello, I'm Gary Ball. Welcome to the Scholastic Ball Report. We've got a great show for you this week. As always, we have a feature from WKYT from around the state. The Roberts Insurance Team of the Week, State Champion Bowling Team from Paul Lawrence Dunbar High School. The Crown Trophy Scholar Athletes of the Week are girls basketball players, West Jessamine High School. From Nicholasville, right over there in Nicholasville, we have the Sutherland Chevrolet Driver of the Week with some great sports action. UK Sports Medicine Healthcare, Walker to Hune is in. But we know what you want. You want the best highlights in the state of Kentucky. We got them. It's called Game Time with Brian Milam, Lee K. Howard, Alex Walker.
We start our show with a postseason type matchup. The defending 11th region champion Madison Central hosting a state title contender tonight in Covington Catholic. The Indians without their head coach Alan Feldhaus.
Yeah, he was ejected a week ago at Corbin, hit with a 3-game suspension. So we'll see what happens tonight. Things going well early for the Indians. They go inside of Robbie Todd, muscles it in for the first 2 of the game, but Cov Cath has a set of muscles all of its own. That's Mitchell Riley throwing down to tie the game. And then it's guard Evan Asparo says, you know what, I'll just do that. Going to take this and Cov Cath up a couple. Central trying to hang around with the Colonels. Will Harden, Region Player of the Year, long-range jumper, but already the Indians down, and Cov Cath rolls tonight 63-49, the final.
With all due respect to all the other kids in Kentucky, and there's some really good players, obviously, I'll take my chances with the ball in her hand.
When you talk about the top scorers in Kentucky, that discussion has to include Amia Jenkins. The senior star is averaging 20 points per game and has the Bearcats at 10-0 in region play.
It's great. I've got a great team of sisters, a great coach, and just great supporters all around. We have a great community, and just everybody's happy for everybody's successes.
You know, for a kid that doesn't care anything about scoring, she sure does do it a lot. She might have 8-9 points, but have 7 or 8 assists because there's somebody's trying to take her away, and she'll just spray the ball to her teammates. The biggest thing that she comes in every day with, like, she wants to be the best defender in the state. After taking care of all of those things, you know, she does score 2,000 points as well.
That 2,000-point milestone coming Monday against Owen County, a 33-point performance in a post-game celebration.
I really didn't expect it to. It's always been a goal of mine, but to actually achieve it, it's been pretty awesome. It feels amazing, and it's great to celebrate with everybody.
As you can see on the right of your screen, everybody includes her future head coach, Kyra Elsie, and Kentucky star Ryan Howard, who just happened to crash the post-game interview.
You got Ryan Howard behind you.
Oh, shoot. That's embarrassing.
It's huge to do something like that. You know, not many people do it, so to be able to see that is great. What a blessing.
Thanks.
Hello and welcome back to the Scholastic Ball Report as we honor the Crown Trophy Scholar Athletes of the Week. Girls basketball team from West Jessamine High School. Coach Jenna Hughes, players Aaliyah Edenstrom and Delasia Thomas. Coach Hughes, talk to us a little bit about the season so far.
I mean, this year right now, currently we're 18-8. And, we probably have the youngest roster in the state of Kentucky. In any given time, we've got 3 or 4 middle schoolers on the floor. And then, of course, my 2 seniors with me. There's a couple games early on that we dropped that we felt like that we should have won those. However, in this stretch, we've been able to pull some games out. That really has came from back to the beginning of the season.
Describe the makeup and experience on your team this year.
I mean, right now I have 2 upperclassmen. So I have Aaliyah and Delasia. These are my only 2 upperclassmen. I don't have any juniors. I have 1 sophomore. I have 2 freshmen. There's 6 or 7 8th graders and 2 7th graders on our roster.
Do you set team goals each season?
Yeah, we did at the beginning of the season. Last season we had we was like 5-13. So of course we wanted to get to that double figure mark. And then also like we felt like we have a pretty good chance to make a run in the district tournament. So of course that's like one of our main goals that we're really pushing forward, in this next coming week.
Introduce your 2 seniors and tell us a little bit about them.
So this is Aaliyah Enstrom. She's one of our 4s. She right now is averaging a double-double. There's been some games where she may not score a whole lot, but she's going to come down with 17, 18 boards. And she had set that tone even early. Like our first scrimmages, we're looking at the stats and we're like, Aaliyah had 20 rebounds. Like, what in the world?
Oscar
and so this is, yeah, but for real, yeah. And then we got Delasia. She's our 5. She's been down there crashing the boards, finishing. She has a very high percentage around the basket. And we just get her the ball and go to finish. Not many people in the district can guard these 2.
Aaliyah, what got you interested in basketball?
Actually, my cousin, Delasia. I didn't really like basketball. I was a softball player. So there was just one day she was like, yeah, you should come play for the middle school team. So I tried it, and I ended up liking it, and here we are now.
How old were you?
I was 9 years old when I started. I played in, like, the league or whatever, but then I kind of gave it up. But then middle school, I came back to it.
How do you help your team, you think?
I feel like just grabbing the boards I can, like, and the outlet passing. Like, I know that sometimes if I can't score, I'm going to look for somebody else passing the ball. I feel like I'm good at passing and, like, finding the open man, like, if I don't have a shot.
Do you play in the summertime?
I actually don't. I played travel softball, but I used to play AAU with Delasia, but it interfered with my softball, so I kind of just picked one, and I was like, I just want to play softball.
Softball and basketball are your sports. Do you want to play in college?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, a 3.6 will help you get to that level, So
yeah.
Congratulations. Delasia, we know that Aaliyah's your cousin. How long have you been playing basketball?
I've been playing since I was about like 6 years old. I've been playing rec leagues and playing summer ball and playing middle school and high school.
What's your favorite thing about playing for the team at West Jessamine?
My favorite thing is the players, like how we get along well and how we play together well.
Any personal goals this year?
I'm planning to win districts and win region.
You got any college plans?
My decision is I'm going to go to Eastern Kentucky University.
Good choice. Well, thank you very much, Coach Hughes, Delasia, and Leia, for being on the show today.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
That's the Crown Trophy Scholar Athletes of the Week from West Jessamine. We'll be right back with more on the Scholastic Ball Report. Hello and welcome back to the Scholastic Ball Report as we honor the Roberts Insurance Team of the Week, the Paul Lawrence Dunbar Bowling Team, Midway KHSAA State Champs. Coach Chris Sapp is with us, bowlers Brooks Golden, Casey Sapp, and Charlie Smith. Coach Sapp, congratulations on the state championship. What does it mean to you in the School of Dunbar?
Well, it's the first time that we've won a state championship in that sport, so it's a big deal. We've been getting all kinds of praise about it. We've really enjoyed this year. We've had a really good turnout, been able to bowl in a lot of tournaments, and we actually won the Lexington Catholic Baker tournament this year, and one of our regional shootouts is what we call them, little mini tournaments that we have with the other teams in the region. So it wasn't a surprise that we could go there and win state, but a lot of times things have to fall in your favor to win an event like that. And that day we just had everything going in our favor.
Describe the makeup and the experience you have on your bowling team.
Well, in total, we have a total of 16 bowlers, but we're only allowed to take 10 to the state championship. So we have, in total, we have 3 seniors this year, 5 juniors, 5 sophomores, 1 8th grader, and 2 7th graders. We didn't have any freshmen this year.
Introduce your great bowlers with us today.
Well, first we got to my right here, we've got Brooks Golden. He was the boys' state champion for the individuals. And then to his right is Charlie Smith. He also participated in the singles and the state competition. And then to my left is my daughter, Casey Sapp. She was in the state competition as well for the girls.
Brooks, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Congratulations for the individual winning that state championship. How'd you get interested in bowling?
I mean, like I got into like bowling through one of like my mother's friends, and so I started like maybe about 4 years ago. But I started getting into it when I started seeing him bowl, like when he joined our team, because like this person's like really good, and so I mean I wanted to be really good, and so kind of got slowly like sucked into this like hole, and I don't know. I mean I love bowling, and something that I don't really ever want to stop doing.
How much do you think you practice?
Pretty often. There's a lot more during like, especially like COVID years, I practice like considerably more. I try to get out and practice at least 5 days a week. I mean, schoolwork keeps me busy, so sometimes it's hard to get out there all the time, but probably around 4 to 5 days a week is mostly the usual.
What is your best bowling score?
My best score, 300. I bowled 2 of them.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Congratulations for that. Casey, how long have you been bowling?
9 or 10 years.
You bowling outside leagues?
Yeah. I bowl a lot of tournaments after high school season's over and through it.
What's your favorite thing about being on the team at Paul Lawrence Dunbar?
The people and winning honestly is just the most part.
Any personal goals in bowling?
I would like to win state or region one of these days.
Well, you already met that goal, didn't you? Well, you won the state. That's amazing. What is your best score?
My best score is a 269. I shot it like 3 days ago, so it's great.
Wow. That's great. Let's go to the smart guy now, the studious one, Charlie. Congratulations on being selected Midwest KHSA Boys Bowling Student Athlete of the Year. Tell us about that.
Well, it was a great honor, and I will gladly accept it because I put in a lot of work this season and to help our team get to state. So I feel like it's a real good reflection on how hard I worked and honestly how hard our team worked as a whole to get to state.
What does the honor mean to you to win such an honor like that?
Well, I feel like it's a real good reflection of how hard I've worked over the years, especially when I got a little older. I put in more work taking lessons, and I took the game a little more seriously. And being named the Midway KHSA Bowler of the Year, that's a really good reflection, I feel, on how I've been putting in a bunch of work.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of kids that competed for that. What was it like to know you won the state championship in bowling?
Well, it's a great feeling because we worked our way back from an early hole against a pretty strong Graves County team early on, and we kind of rode that wave into the final match. And we bowled a Louisville school, and we actually beat them 3-0. In the very last game, it's a Baker format where each bowler will bowl 2 frames a game. So you have the first bowler will bowl first and 6th frame, second bowler will bowl second and 7th frame, and so on. And actually, Brooks here put up a strike in the 9th frame, and that mathematically knocked out the other team from winning that game. And then that last frame, I was like, oh, wow, we just won state. I was shaking. I could barely throw the ball.
Yeah, especially if you just a region runner-up, you won state, you're like, oh, my goodness, we won state championship. Well, thank you, Coach Sapp. That's the Robert Fisher Team of the Week. We'll be right back with more on the Scholastic Ball Report.
Our Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week takes us to the city of Richmond. The Paris Greyhounds on the road at Richmond Model. And off the inbounds play, watch Malachi Ashford drive, and he gets the sweet up and under move. That cut the Model lead to 1. The Greyhounds would go on to win 69-64. Take a look at it again. Malachi Ashford of Paris, you are the Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week.
Welcome back into the Scholastic Ball Report and the UK Sports Medicine segment. Today we have Walker Terhune, UK Sports Medicine Athletic Trainer at Woodford County High School. Welcome in to the Scholastic Ball Report, Walker.
Thanks for having me, Bridget. I really enjoy being here.
That's great. Today we're going to talk about injury trends during a season. So let's define maybe a little bit what you mean by injury trends.
Well, sure. During a season, athletic trainers see and evaluate so many injuries and types of injuries, but there are times when we see a particular type of injury that'll cause multiple athletes to miss game time. And I'm sure our audience that watches, the ball report is also watching a particular college basketball team that's local that has had a lot of the same injury that we've seen. And I won't comment on those particular injuries, but I do want to address the idea of injury trends.
Can you give us some examples?
Well, what we look at is there are times where we'll see injuries, and 9 times or 99 times out of 100, if an injury happens during a game, it's random. We can prepare as much as we want, but gameplay has a lot of just random action. So when injuries happen in gameplay, it's something that we can't really control. Now, on the other hand, if you've got a certain type of injury that happens in, let's say, a practice or conditioning or weightlifting, that's a controlled environment. And so that's when it's like, hey, wait a minute, why are we getting injured with a particular type of injury in a controlled environment? So when that's happening, that's when we need to sit down and say, what's the environment? What do we think is causing it and how we can prevent it? So that's what we start looking at with those injury trends.
So how do you, as an athletic trainer, deal with those types of trends?
Well, a couple of different things. The first is, like I said previously, when you see those trends, that's when you're saying, okay, what are we doing in practice or conditioning or weightlifting? What's going on in there? Is it, hey, we've got some kids that are doing a skill that's a little bit too advanced for them? Are we, are we coaching something incorrectly, or are we instructing incorrectly? Do we need to change how we're instructing? So we have to break down, what's causing that injury? Because it could be different things. Like I said, it could be the drill is a bad drill that we need to look at. It could be that we didn't instruct them correctly, and it could be that the kids aren't physically ready for it. So the first part is figuring that out. The second part is, okay, prevention. Now, let's say, I just had last year, I think I had 3 or 4 straight MCL sprains, so it's knee sprains. And we started looking at it like, well, they're gameplay, so it wasn't much we could do, but we could still, not game-wise, we couldn't do much, but we could also make sure when we start lifting, hey, let's really focus on our core and lower body and try and prevent that. So it's 2 things. It's trying to figure out where it's coming from, and then once you figure that out, adjusting. And then on the other side, it's how can we strengthen our bodies and be more prepared so that we don't have those injuries.
That's Walker Terhune from UK Sports Medicine in Woodford County, keeping us healthy and safe for all high school sports activity. We'll be right back with more on the Scholastic Ball Report.
Scott County ladies admits its first losing season in 7 years tonight against Madison Southern in the first of two at McBrayer Arena. Near the end of the first, Southern running. Macy Daniels in for the layup. Eagles up 4. Scott County gets a shot of momentum heading into the locker room. Check this out. Malia Moore, just as the buzzer sounds, Cards down 4 at the break. In the third, off the inbounds. Scott County's Kennedy Tompkins sees an opening into the lane. That's just an easy basket. Cards still trailing at the other end. Southern's Morgan Flannery going to flash in the post, gets the bucket to go. And Madison Southern, Scott County in double overtime. Look at that, 57-54 with free basketball.
Well, that's our show for this week. Join us next week for another exciting show highlighting high school athletes. As always, special thanks to our Scholastic Ball Report team. Prep Spin's King of Stream, William Warfield. Joel Clays from KYT, our director. Executive producer, Bridget DeVries. But you remember, for those you see and those you don't see, you keep your eye on the Scholastic Ball Report.
The Scholastic Ball Report was sponsored by UK Sports Medicine and by Crown Trophy, Double Dogs, Mingy Beef Jerky, Prep Spin, P-Rats, Rafferty's, Roberts Insurance, Sutherland Chevrolet, and by Whitaker Bank.